What happens when the thing you've barely dared to dream for actually comes true? How does it change you when what you've been believing for and almost given up hope on finally becomes reality? The Redefining Possible podcast spotlights guests with stories of insurmountable odds who have witnessed the impossible become possible with God. Welcome to Redefining Possible. I'm your host, Peyton Hoffman, and with me today, virtually, is the fabulous Dr. Daryll Wharton. Daryll, welcome to the show.
Hi, hello everyone.
It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited.
It's going to be wonderful. So, for folks that don't know you, for sure, we want to do a little more of an introduction into who you are, the work you're doing right now, and then I will get into things with you about how you got there, because this is an incredible journey. It's so inspiring, and I cannot wait to share this with everyone.
Well, I'm Dr. Daryll, and I am a keynote speaker, a mindset coach, and a hypnotherapist. So don't get freaked out by the hypnotherapist. I'm not hypnotizing anybody today. I had absolute pleasure of helping women to become the woman that they thought they could never be. How exciting is that? I have no complaints about what I do. I share my experience and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Amazing. And your journey, your personal journey to getting to this place, I understand, hypnotherapy was a breakthrough for you. So can we talk a little bit about really your weight journey and what that was like back then, everything that kind of led to this place now? That would be amazing.
Sure. Well, you know what? I didn't know that I was practicing hypnotherapy and NLP, which is short for neuro-linguistic programming. But my highest weight was almost 700 pounds, 674 pounds.
Wow.
And I always give people just a moment, just let that sink in because it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I had what is considered a failed weight loss surgery. It did not produce the amount of weight that they, projected that I should have lost.
Yeah.
So coming from 674 pounds, I got down to the low 400s, high 300s, and I stayed there for almost 10 years.
Wow.
And I talked myself out of, going further and trying more things to try to lose this excess weight, because I kept saying, you know what, it's better than weighing almost 700 pounds, but I'm still not happy.
Right.
And so I started saying affirmations, which is like the beginning stage. I don't even know what word to use, but it's a form of hypnosis when you keep repeating the same thing to yourself. And I started with one affirmation: I am disciplined and focused. It is actually tattooed on my wrist.
Oh, I love that.
Something that I live by, and I just started saying it. I didn't believe it at first, but eventually I noticed my actions started to be a little bit more disciplined and focused. And that is how I started the journey to lose and release the rest of the weight. And that is also how I realized that it was more than physical weight. I've lost over 400 pounds of physical weight, but infinite pounds of emotional weight.
Yeah. Well, and the Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So really the affirmations are biblical. You're pulling, and you are a Christian, so you're pulling things from the Bible that are, I am disciplined, I'm focused, I am approved, I'm accepted. I mean, those are things that we should be speaking over our life just anyway. So I love that for you, that transformation really started with your mind. And it started with, what am I speaking over myself that's true? Or what have I been speaking that's not true? Were there any lies or things that you've been believing about yourself that really came up as you started? Yeah. Can you share some of those? I think that would really be helpful.
It was so many things. I started Weight Watchers at the age of 7 with my mother. So this weight issue, this weight issue has been a lifelong issue. And I used to stand in front of the mirror. I mean, just my fist clenched, and I would close my eyes and I'd say, okay, God, when I open up my eyes, make me skinny, make me skinny, make me skinny. That was my prayer, growing up. And I would be so upset when I opened up my eyes and I was still the same, little girl that still weighed the same.
Mm.
And then it, elevated or transitioned into in high school. I just used to ask God every night, please just don't wake me up. Just let me, I didn't want to necessarily do anything. I just wanted him to do it. And I prayed for that. And then I realized, okay, I'm still here. I am at this time when I had that surgery, I was 28. And I realized he did not answer that prayer. So maybe I'm supposed to be here. And that is when it kind of turned, and I would say these affirmations. I saw that movie called The Secret. I was mad after I finished watching that movie called The Secret because I was like, what do you mean I can just say something and it's just going to magically appear? Not realizing it was the connection with myself and my spirituality and changing that prayer to, okay, let me stay here, but let me stay here and let me find my purpose so that I can not only be good, but now I can help other people to be good as well.
Yeah, and it's not like a name it and claim it thing. I think we because there are definitely conversations about that. That's not what this is. I think we want to be really clear about that. It is we're affirming things that the Lord has already spoken over you. And so I think that's the difference between, a movie like The Secret and like what you're actually doing and stepping into, hey, I'm affirming the biblical truth that's already been written out over my life. And that is like, basically you coming into alignment with the identity that the Lord's already spoken over you.
Yes. And he says abundance is my birthright.
Yes.
And I'm not supposed to be here suffering. I'm not supposed to be here sad.
Yeah.
And once I broke through that limiting belief of that
Yeah.
and knowing, I almost, I had to kind of ask for forgiveness a little bit
Wow.
because here I am, this creation of me, he put me here. And how disrespectful of that is to be here and not do something with my life. And
Wow.
so
Wow.
I had to realize a little bit, disrespectful even now when I started this coaching business.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I wanted to do this,
Hmm.
and how, selfish would it be of me to not share this story so that other women can wake up feeling absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. It's selfish for me to keep that to myself.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that's such a beautiful way to look at it too, of just, the Lord created you. You are a masterpiece, to him. He
Yeah,
doesn't make junk. You are a masterpiece. And,
exactly.
our Papa God does not make junk. So
That's not.
so it's like, okay, why do I see myself? This is to put myself in your shoes. Why were you seeing yourself as worthless, as junk, when that's actually not how he created you. He created you as a masterpiece. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, what an incredible transformation to begin to step into that. And then, what were some of the truths that you realized about just yourself as you're going through this?
I had to realize that I could not rely on other people's opinions about me.
Wow. 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 That's a breakthrough
You
for
know,
everyone. Yeah.
yes, when you listen to society and you're looking at the magazines and you have all of these, I'm gonna use the word skinny because that was my word for me, and I used to pray, oh God, I want to be skinny, I want to be skinny. And then once my aha moment kept in, and I'm like, well, let me write out what the skinny means for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I started writing out the things, I realized I didn't want to be skinny. I wanted to be well. I wanted to be
Yeah.
happy. I wanted to, if I fell down, to just be able to hop back up and keep going.
Wow.
I wanted to live a long time, to spend the rest of my life with my husband, who's my high school sweetheart since the 10th grade. I wanted to grow old with him. And once I defined that skinny, I don't want to be skinny. I
Right.
just want to be me. And I'm perfect
Yeah.
because he put me here.
Well, and so many of us, I would say, to speak to the women that are watching, because we do have women and men that both watch this, but to your point, yeah, for the women that are watching magazines, social media, just the comparison game that's out there of going on these, looking for your identity in these places and looking for really an affirmation of who you are, from other places that really we're never built to give you that. Like it can't give you that. And so for you, what was the aha moment when you found yourself like breaking free of that searching and letting other people define who you are, really?
When I realized that, number one, I was still here,
Yeah.
and number two, I realized how blessed I was as a person who weighed 674 pounds, because all I had was arthritis
Mm.
and I had sleep apnea. But with the first 80 pounds that I lost, the sleep apnea went away.
Wow.
And so, how many people do you know that weigh that much and they don't have other health issues like diabetes or high blood pressure? I didn't have any of those things. I was working, I was in college, I was 5'80" when I got married, and I realized how strong I was.
Wow.
And a lot of people may say, oh, well, I want to forget that person who I used to be. I love the 674-pound me. That girl is a beast. She is the reason why I'm here. Her decisions got me here today. I thank her and I love her. And I realized that I also had to love myself right in the moment
Yeah.
so that I could push through and step out the box and get to where I needed to be, where I was destined to be, and get out of my own way.
Wow. When you were 674 pounds, I mean, I heard you sharing you were 5'80" when you got married. Was there a moment, or maybe there were multiple moments, when you were at that heaviest weight where everything just looked impossible? I mean, I know you were talking about physically just being able to get up was insurmountable. What can you share a little bit about that, just for folks that are watching
Yes.
that have had those moments, maybe in other areas of their life? Maybe it's not been weight, but they've had that moment that's like, this is too much.
It got to the point where, like I said, in high school, I would just pray to God to not wake me up. And I started to feel that way again about a year after my husband and I got married, which
Wow.
is right before I had the weight loss surgery. And I had said to God, and I still have to ask, I'm so sorry I said that to you.
Mm.
But I had to say, you know what, you're not listening to me. You're not doing this. I'm just gonna do it myself.
Wow.
I'm gonna date myself. Now I had to go onto the computer. Back in the day you had to connect to the library
Yes,
system.
yes.
I had to connect to the library system, and I actually looked up at my weight how many pills would I need to take to not wake up?
Oh,
I
Daryl.
actually researched it.
Wow.
And I don't know if, well, I do know, we say our intuition, but it was actually God just
Hmm.
like, absolutely not. And I thought about my husband, and I was like, I cannot let my husband come home and find me in this home, and have the embarrassment of having to need extra paramedics to move my body
Right.
out of the house. And that is just real talk. And that is what
Yeah.
stopped me that day.
Oh, Daryl.
And, for me, it was a way. For somebody else, it may be a job, it may be a marriage that's not working out. But once you step into, and I don't even want to say step into, because you're already everything, you are already your answer. But once
Mm.
you combine the person that you don't want to be with the person that you thought you can never be, things
Yeah.
become a little bit clear. And to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
I always say, we pray. We all pray a lot. And I think some people don't like that terminology of meditating. But
Mhm.
for me, the meditating allowed me to listen to God speak to me instead of me talking to him all day. He's so busy. I used to say that, like, God, do you have time for me today? Because you're like in everybody's mind, right? I had to sit still and be quiet and listen to him speak to me about this is your next step. And that is what helped me to get to the next step. I shut my mouth and listened.
You know what? You hit on so many amazing and important points just in that I want to kind of dissect a little bit. Just the first of all, you said I had to shut my mouth and listen. So having quiet time with the Lord. Were you scared to do that when you first started it?
I was. I was afraid because the limiting beliefs were so strong. And here's the thing about the mind loves the loops. So when
Mhm.
you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, your subconscious mind loves that because it doesn't have to think about anything else. But honey, if you throw a little monkey wrench in there and you say, I am worthy, God says that I'm worthy, and you throw that in there, you're going to kind of shake things up for yourself. And it starts the transition when you just ask yourself, well, why not? Well, God says I am worthy of this. Why am I saying that I'm not? And ask yourself, when did I decide that? When did I decide that everybody else is better than me because they're skinny? When did you decide? I had to ask myself, when did you decide that?
Yeah. I mean, was that 7-year-old you? That probably was. It probably went that far back, to that little girl.
Yeah, I was always the biggest girl in the room. And now that I look back on it, physically, yes, I was always the biggest girl like in my class. But guess what? I was also the one that sang. I was
Mm.
also the one who could act. And so sometimes being big is not necessarily a bad thing because I
Mm.
was big in so many ways, but I only
Yeah.
tapped into my physical bigness instead
Yes.
of tapping into the power of I speak well, I sing well, I perform. And so
Yeah.
you really have to dissect and really sit and listen to yourself and really ask yourself questions and ask God questions and be still so he can answer you. And you could question yourself out of excuses and talk yourself into your limitless possibilities
Yeah.
just by doing that.
I love that. Now tell me a little bit about how, as you were in this journey, how did your husband support you in this? Because I think that's incredibly important to have a partner, to have a spouse. If you're a man listening, to have a wife. If you're a woman listening, to have a husband that is supporting you in every area of your life. Certainly, this journey is tremendous, both physically and emotionally.
I always used to ask him because what teenage boy wants to date someone that's I was like in the 400s in high school.
Mm.
And his answer was always, I just liked you. I don't know. Like he doesn't even have an answer. It wasn't that he liked, heavy girls or anything. He just liked me, which also confirmed that I was enough right then and there. But it is important that you do have that connection and that support. But
Yeah,
before you even get to that point, you need to make sure you have a relationship with yourself and with
mm,
God, because
agree.
then that will allow you to have someone to help you and
Yeah,
not be so salty when they say to you, maybe we should do something about your weight because it's not healthy for you. Or
wow.
maybe you should do something about this job because you're going to work and you're sad every day that you
Yeah.
that you come home, and to open yourself for that support.
That's so good. I mean, and it's such a good point too, because circumstances in life can cause us to isolate. And, for you, it could have been weight, and you could have been out in public and still isolating inside. And so I think that is huge to make that shift with the Lord and then obviously with yourself. And like you said, to learn to love the 674-pound version of Daryll. If you couldn't love that version of you, no matter how much weight you lost, you were going to be unhappy. I mean, it had to start at that place.
And she's so strong. Like, I don't know if that's like carrying around two adults and a toddler. I don't know if I could do that today to
Yeah.
carry all of that weight. So instead of, because I used to hate myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about it, like how strong
Yeah.
she was. And yes, I do talk about myself in third person. It's okay. It's
It's
okay.
okay. It's no, a lot of people do. And it's true. It is actually very healthy to sort of look back and say that version of me and that, yeah, because you are a different woman now. You are a different person. And I think it's acknowledging that transformation and that shift. And yeah, what are some of the things just looking at this, as you started to lose the weight, you said there was also a lot of emotional baggage and emotional weight that you were carrying. Can you go into that a little bit for everyone?
I was carrying self-doubt. I had, self-hate on my back. I had this, everyone is looking at me, tucked in my pocket. I was carrying around so many things. And then, on the flip side of that, I had to say to myself, you know what? You're just not that important to everybody else. We think that
Wow.
everyone else is staring at us. We think that people are speaking about our clothes and about our hair. And most people are within themselves having their own self doubt. They're not even thinking about how big your arms are. And so once you realize you're really not that important to the outside world, then you have that freedom of just working on yourself and building up the confidence. I had to build up my confidence. Now, my
Wow.
definition of confidence is a little bit different. My definition of confidence is being fearless, which means that you don't care if you fail. You don't
Yeah.
care if you told everybody, oh, I'm going to start this nutrition plan and it doesn't work. You're not embarrassed about it not working because guess what? I'm going to learn from it and now I'm going to maybe go to a different nutrition plan. Or maybe I'm going to quit this job and be out of work for 2 weeks and I'm going to go find another job. That confidence means that you have no fear of failing because you know you're going to learn from that failure. And so those are the type of emotional things that I was able to unpack and take those things out my bag so that my bag wouldn't be that heavy on my
Mm.
back. It's a lot to carry.
It's a lot to carry, and we don't realize the emotional weight of things that we're carrying. I mean, I know for myself personally, I've been unpacking that a lot. I mean, even today, I mean, even yesterday, an ongoing process of being like, oh, I don't need to carry this piece. I don't need to carry this thing. So I think it's a constant transformation. I don't know if we're ever done with that, but I
I don't
love
think
the process. I know. Well, what are things, as this started to happen, as you started to shift and just transform really physically, emotionally, did other people, I mean, I'm sure people started saying things like, what were some of the comments and how did that affect or even not affect you, at that point?
it impacted me not as bad because once I realized that I was in competition with just me,
Yeah.
I didn't welcome even the accolades. I
Yeah.
didn't want the accolades because I had gotten so deep and just fallen back in love with me. I
Yeah.
didn't care whether you approved or disapproved. And
Yeah.
I learned when people did give me compliments to just say thank you,
Yeah.
not thank you. Oh, well, I still have to lose some more weight. Well, thank
Ooh.
you. I still have excess skin on my arms because I do. I'm gonna get that taken care of when I'm ready. So I took it with a grain of salt because I never want to fall back into that trap of caring about what other people thought of me. Now,
Yeah.
do I want to be a beautiful human? Absolutely. But I want to be known for not losing weight, but I'd rather be known for I help someone else to find their joy, not lose weight,
Yeah.
because that's not what I do. Eventually, my clients do end up losing some weight because they find that they're fabulous like right now. So the weight loss is like a byproduct of that. So I want to be known for those things, not as a lady who lost, over 400 pounds.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, and it's so important, you change the inside, you change the outside. And, just in many ways. And I think, weight obviously can be a part of that, but it's all over. And I love that, you say even the accolades didn't really matter as much because you were already proud of yourself and you were already noticing the shift in yourself. And I love that you said, just say thank you. I think as women, especially, we say thank you and then we feel the need to either qualify it somehow or pull back from the thank you, where it's like, oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, not thank you, but it wasn't that big a deal. Or just to kind of to take away from that instead of just to say, You're like, thank you. Yes.
It's a complete sentence if you ask me. So
It
that
is.
is it's a
Yeah.
complete sentence.
And it's so good too, just to be able to get to a place where you can say that and you can receive that compliment,
Yeah.
receive that from someone and not, one, don't feel like you have to reject it, but two, don't feel like you have to like earn it in some way. So I think it takes that earning, that need to earn out of it too. I love
Yep.
that.
And to be grateful. And to be grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude is very important. And it's the first thing that I do with my clients because I feel like when you're grateful for where you are right here today and the
Hmm.
things that you have, God will open up doors for more things to come in for you to be grateful for.
Yeah.
So, as soon as I open up my eyes, I'm like, thank you, God, for another day to live in my
Yeah.
purpose. That is the first thing that I say every single morning. And I say, you know what? It's going to be a good day today. I cannot wait for today. And I'm just grateful for everything. And I truly believe that that opens up more doors for me.
Ugh, I love that. And yeah, gratitude. I mean, thankfulness opens the gates of heaven. I mean, gratitude and thankfulness are keys. And so I love that you start every day with that. I love that you are just going into your day and you're teaching others to go into their day with a spirit of gratitude and just say, thank you, Lord, for another day. Thank you for air in my lungs. Thank you for breath and just to actually be conscious of that. And thank you for this opportunity, for this show and Daryl. And, I think all of those pieces, every little thing, there's so much to be grateful for if we actually pay attention to it. So you're calling your mind to just pay attention.
Yeah. And be up, observant because, you may think that, okay, well, it's raining outside. I never look at the rain like it's a nuisance. I'm looking
Mm.
at the rain like, okay, the earth needs a bath too. We all need baths, even the earth. So I'm looking at the rain like, okay, it's going to make things grow. It's going to make our food grow. It's, cleaning the air for me. So, it's almost like looking at my glass is never half filled. My glass is not only filled up, but it is overflowing.
I love it.
So it's just the way that you look at things and you change your outlook on things, then you're going to be able to catch a limiting belief
Yeah.
sooner. Because I don't want anybody to think that I don't have any limiting beliefs because I do. The difference is I'm able to catch it and make it going about its way way faster. I will wallow in things for days and for weeks. I may wallow. I give myself a minute to, be in my feelings and
Yeah.
then I excuse it. Okay, that energy, you gotta go.
That's
It's
so
no
good.
time.
It's so good. I would challenge everybody here in Los Angeles to be thankful for the rain. We don't have a lot of thankfulness for the rain in LA, and we should. So I love that. But you're right. I mean, it's and that's such a great point, is that even now, as you've been years in through this journey, you're still catching limiting beliefs or lies, outright lies, just trying to come at you. And you're able to now, you just have the training and you have the tools to be able to say, wait, that doesn't line up with what the Lord has said. That doesn't line up with what I believe about myself and what he says about me and what he believes about me. And then you're able to catch it and, take every thought captive is really what you're doing. You're taking every thought captive and saying, like, does this line up with scripture? Is this what the Lord's saying about me? And if it's not, okay, well, we let it go along its way. Like, I love that you just said, I let it go along its way because it's true.
And we are people pleasers.
Yes.
And it's really hard for us to say no. And that is to me the beginning stages of being able to say no. And I would like to say something to the
Mm.
men because guess what? They want to lose weight too.
Yeah.
Or they want a better job too. They want to look good for their wives or their girlfriends. So I don't want to discount that. And so when I'm speaking, because I have men and women in my audience, I always take that time out for the men to just say, you know what? you do know that you're worthy too, right?
Yes. It's
Like you absolutely are.
yeah, that's so important. I was actually speaking to somebody, a really good guy friend of mine last night about this and just saying, like you're enough. Like you're enough just the way you are. And I think that's something that men need to hear a lot more of. I think that's, the lie that I've seen in my own life and that I've also seen with other women has been the lie of too much in different ways. And the lie that I have seen a lot with men, just me personally, is the lie of not enough. And they're two sides of the same coin. If you're too much of one thing, you're not enough of something else. If you're not enough of something, you're too much of, if you're too loud, you're not quiet enough. If you're too quiet or you're not loud enough, you're too much. So it's the same lie, just packaged different ways, and it hits men and women differently. But it's so true.
It's okay for men to need help. Like you don't have to do
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
on your own. And I try to be that safe space, even for my husband, because they have these roles, and just like they do women, oh, you got to be quiet, and they do men, oh, you can never cry. That's not true. We
Mm-mm.
all are human beings first together.
Yes, it's so true. And I love seeing both men and women on this journey of really unlearning the traditions or the lessons we learned about, what men can do and can't do, what women can do and can't do. I think really unlearning and relearning something in a healthy way it's a hard process, but it's a beautiful process.
It's a beautiful process, but it's so hard because we have been conditioned, and it's everywhere. It's in the books that you read when you're in school. It's on TV. It's on the bulletin boards, the billboards. I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
That's why that bulletin
No,
board
it's
just
it's
flipped out.
good. It's good. My mom was a teacher too, so I love it. It's so important. I mean, and it does start at that young age. It is a conditioning that starts when you're in elementary school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so like I said earlier, the brain loves the loops, and those
Yeah.
are the loops that we get trapped into. And probably, I'm gonna say 8 times out of 10, probably nine, but I'll be a little safe. 8 times out of 10, most of your limiting beliefs are inherited. They
Yeah.
don't even belong to you.
Wow.
You've listened to your mother say, "Oh, well, we're gonna keep bangs for you because your forehead is a little big." And here you are, 55, still wearing bangs because you think your forehead is big. That's not even your limiting beliefs. It was
Wow.
something that was given to you.
Yeah.
And so I think, we just sit down and I'm telling you, the magic question is, when did I decide that? Because if you
Yes.
didn't decide it, let it go. It's not yours. It's not your limiting
Mm.
belief. Let it go.
Oh,
Doesn't belong to you.
that is so good. Wow. I mean, that's transformative. I feel like somebody's hearing that right now and going, wait a minute, that actually wasn't my thought. That wasn't my belief. That came from a parent or it came from a grandparent. I mean, it can be a couple generations old for
Yeah.
sure. And it was just passed down. And yes, oh, yes. I mean, that really, I think is going to resonate with so many people to say,
Yeah.
like you said, when did I first believe that? When did I first decide that is true?
Yep.
Because,
And
and
you can
it's not.
decide, I don't want this anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to pick this up, and I'm just going to, set it on the side. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to start asking myself, why not? A lot of my limiting beliefs were passed on from my mom.
Hmm.
And not because she didn't love me, but just because of her own limiting
Of
beliefs, to
course.
think that you could not be anything if you were heavy, especially me, because I
Mm.
was considered super morbidly obese. So
Wow.
she would tell me things like, fat people, they don't get jobs, they don't go to school, they don't get married. And I spent a lot of my life trying to prove her wrong. And I did. Like, yeah, I
Mm.
got a fabulous job. I had 5 degrees. Oh yeah, I married my high school sweetheart. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But then I realized that she didn't do those things to hurt me. I had to forgive her. That's
Yeah.
that's where she was.
Yes.
And I had to release those things even after proving them all wrong, I still felt less than.
Wow.
And
Wow.
as you can see, I'm not skinny. I'm cute, curvy, confident. Okay. My goal is not to be a size 2. I want to be a size me, a size happy. That's who I want. That's the size I want to be.
I love that. Well, and one of the things that I came to just to have come to in my journey has been, you know, that learning that people can't give you what they never had. And so, for your mom, it's like that was a limiting belief she probably inherited from her mother or her grandmother, or, that is something that she probably didn't even realize that that was something that she was speaking over you. And, even proving her wrong, because you're right, all of that is a lie. None of that was true. But at the same time, it's also like forgiving, hey, she didn't know. Couldn't give you the affirmation that she never had to give. She couldn't give you. And it's sad. And at the same time, it's also like we look for people to give us things that sometimes they don't have the capacity to give us. And it's not their fault. It's just they haven't done the work to get there.
And I don't know if I would be where I am if I wasn't so strong-willed to prove her wrong. It served me at the time, right? It did serve me because I was able to push past the limits that she had for me. But then I also had to release them because I'm like, I need to put this energy on something else. Like I'm keeping myself at the same level. I need to use this energy and apply it to me and what
Mhm.
I want for myself and in my prayer that I want for myself, and take her out of the equation.
Yeah. Oh,
And once I did that, because she actually told me, you don't do the surgery. That surgery saved my life. Now I know a
yeah.
lot of people will say, oh, well, you took the easy way out. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's so many, that's a whole other show about how this surgery impacts you emotionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I had to say, you know what? I need to live my life for me and not worry about what other people think.
I love that.
And
Yeah.
that is how I live my life.
I love that. So what in that capacity and in that on that train of thought, what are you talked about, you're dreaming. What are you dreaming for next? What is next looking like for Daryll?
Next is fabulous. It is around the corner. I am building my community called Above Belief Alliance. I am building that community because I feel like it's just like a teacher. You know how
Mhm.
you expect to teach your kids, your students, and then they go out and they teach someone else.
Yeah.
So I'm not just impacting the people that I actually serve. I'm impacting the people that they go out and share this information with. So it looks like building this community of women that just say, you know what, I am enough because I'm here and
Yeah.
God made me.
Yeah.
And it would be disrespectful for me to not live in his journey for me or his
Yeah.
purpose for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to build this community up. I love to speak. I love when people leave from hearing me speak, that they are changed, and
Yeah.
it may be just a glimmer, and
Mhm.
that's fine. Because you know how much shine and I don't know, glitter and everything else you can get from just a small glimmer.
Yeah.
That is what's coming for me.
I
It's
love
here already. I'm claiming it already.
I love it. Well, and you're sowing seeds. I mean, you're putting in, you're planting and you're sowing seeds in different areas of life and in different people's lives. And then it's looking at the multiplication effect of who do they impact and who do they impact. And so that is a very wise way to build a business. It's a very wise way to build a community. And it's just, it's a biblical way. So I think it's, that's what I love about all of this is you come back to the Bible and you're like, oh, what if everything in there is exactly the way we need to be living and is true and is, you come back and you kind of look at it and go, wait, what if I actually take the Lord at his word? Like, what if I actually take, his faithfulness at his word? Truly. And like, what if I actually let this change my life? And
Oh my
you're doing
goodness.
that.
We all
You're doing it though. You're doing it. You're living it out, and
Yeah.
and I love that because for men and women, they're able. Well, I know you're working primarily with women, but you do speak to men and women, and you may go and keynote somewhere, and you don't know, it might be one comment, one thought that sticks with somebody, but that ends up being the thing that years later transforms their life. And you just never know.
Okay.
You never know the impact you're going to have on someone's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. And that's how we have to live with integrity. And, if you just keep in the forefront of your mind, what am I leaving here? And because you can't leave a part of, of course you can leave your house, you can leave your money or whatever, but that can just go away in a
Mm-hmm.
second. But when you leave an impact on someone's
Yeah.
personality or someone's thoughts, it
Yeah.
goes in such a long way. And so
Yeah.
that is my goal, is to make impact.
I love it. And it's healing for generations, which I think is such a beautiful, beautiful and very needed today in our world. So it's just amazing. So Daryll, tell me, how can women get in touch with you? I mean, if they want to be a part of this next step that you're taking, they want to be a part of your community, how can they reach out to you? How can they connect?
Absolutely. So you could go to drdaryl.com, and that's one R, two L's. I would get a name with all these different spellings, right? Um, you can go, yes, you can go to drdaryl.com. I have it's like a short quiz. It's like 7 questions for you to kind of identify what your limiting beliefs are. And based on your results, you will get a free meditation for you to listen to. And it's just start with that. You don't even need to do anything else. Just start with yourself. And then absolutely you can always reach out. My information is on that site and you can reach out to me.
I love it. Well, Daryll, thank you so, so much. I have loved our conversation. This has been so rich. And I love seeing the transformation of your life and really you going from impossible to a life full of possibilities. And now turning around and sharing that with others and taking them from that impossible moment and helping to create possibilities or help them to see possibilities that are already there that they just may not have eyes to see right now. So I love that. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And
Thank you so, so much.
yes, and thank you all for joining us today. Once again, I'm your host, Peyton Hoffman. I cannot wait to see you all on this next episode of Redefining Possible. What happens when the thing you've barely dared to dream for actually comes true? How does it change you when what you've been believing for and almost given up hope on finally becomes reality? The Redefining Possible podcast spotlights guests with stories of insurmountable odds who have witnessed the impossible become possible with God.